Hello, everyone, and welcome to Coffee Chats with MomJonz. I am Sybil Jones, aka MomJonz. I am the lady behind the Coffee Chats and the lady behind Mamas and Coffee, just in general. How are you doing this Monday afternoon, y'all? It is like 1:45. I know. Coffee Chats with MomJonz. They begin at noon Eastern. That's the time. All right. So next week I will be here at 12 noon Eastern. Look, 12 noon. Do you say 12 noon or do you say noon? I say noon or I say 12 p.m. But I have heard people say 12 noon Eastern time. But regardless of what you say, I will be here every Monday at noon Eastern Standard Time, live, ready to run my mouth, because that's what I do. I have the gift of gab. So as you are coming in, whether you're watching this live or you're watching the replay, say hello to me in the comments. Say, hi, Sybil. Give me a thumbs up. Click that share button, because when you share, you do help the algorithm. You tickle it a little bit and help me reach more people. So make sure you do that. And also make sure you like and subscribe. All right. So Facebook, like it. YouTube, go over to YouTube and subscribe. Or if you're watching this on YouTube and it popped up in your feed, just click that subscribe button. Go ahead, subscribe. Because I'll be here every Monday at noon, as well as the Mamas and Coffee show, which will stream live every second and fourth Wednesday at noon Eastern. So here's the caveat with Mamas and Coffee. Everything we do happens at noon. If you're signed up for our newsletter, it will hit your inbox at noon. Okay, noon on Friday and noon on Tuesday. Noon. Everything we do is at 12 o'clock noon. It's lunchtime. All right, so let me go ahead and tell you guys what. Hold on. And if y'all haven't realized, I am your host and the producer. I do it all. So because I do it all, if you would like to support what I am doing here at Mamas and Coffee, you can go ahead and scan that QR code, or just go to buymeacoffee.com/mamas and coffee and buy me a coffee. Support what we do here. We do a lot. Mamas and Coffee doesn't only just do the Coffee Chats with MomJonz, but we also are the main branch of Stroke Talks. So if you are a stroke survivor, or even if you're not a stroke survivor, Stroke Talks is a great connection to have, because what I do at Stroke Talks is I bring fellow stroke survivors on to share their story, and also provide a community for stroke survivors, family, friends, caregivers, whomever, to come together and have open and honest conversations. So we have the show, Stroke Talks, the podcast, and then I also offer private one-on-one conversations and small group meetups that will also be happening on Mondays. That will start in April. But all that information will be found here at Mamas and Coffee, as well as on the Stroke Talks social media page. All right. So let's go ahead and get to the point of today's coffee chat. So people have asked me before, hold on, let me take this off. They're like, Sybil, what exactly is coffee chats? Like, what are the coffee chats all about? Well, to keep it plain and simple, hold on, folks. I'm trying to get this banner off. To keep it plain and simple, coffee chats are me coming here live, chatting with you about a topic that has been on my mind, or a topic that you as the viewer would like for me to share my 2 cents about. So coffee chats are all about Sybil Jones sharing her 2 cents and her life experiences. Her, me, I'm talking about myself. I'm talking about myself in third person. Okay. Y'all, today has been a day. It has been a day. But I'm getting my life together. It's okay. Got my coffee, getting it together. But no, coffee chats. I originally said that they would be about 15 minutes long, but the reality is I am a talker. I have the gift of gab. I am a rambler, and I love talking to people. I'm getting back into my comfort of chatting with folks. I'm getting back into my comfort of coming here, streaming live, and just sharing life with you and bringing my fabulousness to you. And, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy what I have to share. I hope that you take from my personal experiences and incorporate it into your life in any way, whether it's helpful to your situation or it gives you it's a tool to make you think about a certain situation. So again, coffee chats with Mom Jones. Things that come to the top of my mind, literally some of my topics, they hit me on Monday morning when I get up. And I'm like, hey, this is what I'm going to talk about. Some things have been something that has weighed on my mind for a while. But I'm like, all right, you know what? I want to talk about this. I want to share how I navigated this situation or how I would navigate a situation. But mainly, I'm talking from my personal experiences. Also, some of the topics that I bring up are things that people have asked me. They wanted me to share my 2 cents. And what I am doing, so I do have a private Facebook group, private Mamas and Coffee Facebook group, but I am opening up topic suggestions and requests from everyone, even those outside of the Facebook group. So if there's something you want to hear from me, just go over, let me drop it here in the comments. Go to www.mamasandcoffee.com. And there will be a link at the bottom of the website. It is not up right now. So if you are watching at this very moment at 1:52 p.m. on, what's today's date? Monday, March 9th. It is not on the website yet. So give me till 5 p.m. today, okay? It'll be on the website where you can go click. It's going to be at the bottom of the website. Click on that link, or actually I'll put it at the top. I'll put it at the top and the bottom. You can click on that link, submit your question, and I will answer it live here doing a coffee chat, as well as our newsletter. So when you submit the question, I will be asking you for your email address. I will add you to my newsletter. You can unsubscribe at any time, but that will also be a way that you are notified that I answered your question live. And all of my answers, my lips are, let me put some chapstick on, y'all. I told y'all today has been a day, but it's all good. It's all good. Let me tell you about my day. Y'all didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you. So I have 2 meetings for today. I scheduled 2 meetings today. And both of those meetings were stroke meetings. They were for stroke talks. So one was a one-on-one session, and then another one is a preliminary interview for an upcoming stroke survivor that will be on Stroke Talks, the podcast. So y'all, Mondays, I do nothing but coffee chats. Mondays is my coffee chat day and my admin day. So I am not used to talking to people on Monday. So I have been a hot mess all day long. But y'all, that's okay. That's okay. I'm getting my life together. Getting it together. But coffee chats with Mom Jones. You can expect me to come here, share my 2 cents on life. There is no questions off the table. You can ask me anything and I'll answer. I will do a full show about it. The other thing I want you to know about Coffee Chats with Mom Jones, they're not new. I've been doing Coffee Chats with Mom Jones for years. Pre-stroke, which was April 17, 2021, I used to go live every single day. Literally wake up, grab my phone, hit go live on Facebook, PJs, headscarf, eye booger, slobber, and I would go live and I would just talk. That came to a halt in 21, and I've struggled with showing up again, but I'm feeling good. I'm getting back in my groove. And I'm like, okay, Sybil, you know what? You can show up. You got this, girl. Show up. So Coffee Chats with Mom Jones is usually just me, but this is something else new that I'm doing with Coffee Chats with Mom Jones. I am opening it up to bring guests on with me for them to share. So it'll be a one-to-one interview. Now you're like, but Sybil, don't you have the Mamas and Coffee show? Don't you do interviews there? I do, but those are a little different. Those are more panel focused. They're going to become more panel focused. But Coffee Chats with Mom Jones, basically me coming here live, chatting with you, giving you my perspective, my 2 cents on life through my experiences. And when I bring on guests, it'll be the same. Like, hey, what's going on? How you doing? What's your thoughts on friendships? Because this month, my conversations are about friendships. That's what we're talking about, friendships, especially in adulthood. Because as adults, look, as I am getting up in age, I realize that making friends, I'm in my late 40s, y'all. Making friends, it's just like when you were in middle school, right? In elementary school, everybody was your friend, right? You made friends, everybody on the playground, everybody in your classroom was your friend, even if they were a bully, right? They were your friend. They were your friend. But I have compared being, in elementary school to my early 20s, right? I think back to my college years, right? I met people, they were my friends. Everybody was my friend, right? Hey, we all hanging out, we have class together, we're gonna go to this party together. Y'all, I tell my kids I didn't party. I have two daughters in college now. They know I was a partier. I was the partier. My husband studied. Y'all, funny story. And also, this is the other thing about Coffee Chats with Mom Jones. You got to keep up, right? Because I will have 3 different topics in one chat. But funny story. And then, again, this goes to friendships and how I used to navigate friends back in the day. Hey, look, let me tell you something about this silk press, Mr. Love. Actually, let me ask you this. You have a new follower on your IG account. I went out to lunch with a friend. It was last week before last, and we were talking about fashion and photographers, and I mentioned your name. And she was like, wait a minute, why does that name sound familiar? I was like, I don't know why his name sounds familiar to you. So I showed her your account, and she did. I think she had a request. Yeah, she requested to follow you. Because I think did she send a request or did she automatically follow? I don't know, but that's my home girl. She's one of my friends that I met now as an adult. We were stationed here in Northern Virginia together before in 2019. I'm gonna get to the silk press in a minute. And we both left the area, and we both ended up back here this summer. And it was like, hey, how you doing? What you doing? Let's have lunch. And we made it happen. And that goes into my whole talk with friendship about elementary, comparing the ages. But the silk press, thank you. But this is going to be curly again soon. I have stretched this for, I don't know, 3 weeks, I think 3 weeks now. I've stretched this out, but I'm like, nope, I got to go back curly. I just need to get in the shower, wash it, and be back to my natural curls. Wearing a silk press, and I only did it to get my ends trimmed because I needed my ends to be trimmed, and I was like, all right, go ahead, straighten it for that. But wearing it straight is a lot more work than wearing it curly. I miss jumping in the shower, getting my hair wet, throwing some conditioner on, and getting on down. But anywho, friendships. Let me focus. So, and that's the other thing to expect with Mamas and Coffee, or with Coffee Chats with MomJonz. As I said, you got to keep up, because everything I do, and this is important for everyone to understand as you start connecting with Mamas and Coffee, is I don't edit anything. This is real life, right? Think about when you are with friends. When you're with your friends, not people that you just know, but your friends, you are just having a free flow conversation. I don't know about you, but when I meet people, I got to be able to be me. If I feel like I have to always show up and be perfect and have proper English and, behave a certain way, I don't want to hang out with you. I want my circle of friends to always know, hey, you can talk to Sybil about anything. We might be over here talking about, I don't know, chapstick, and something comes up in the conversation about chapstick, and somebody says something about water. I don't know. The conversation may veer to water. I'm just thinking of things that are sitting right here on my desk. We do not have to stay on the topic of chapstick. We're going to veer back to it, but also understand if it's a serious conversation, we're going to stay on that topic. We might veer a little bit, but so that's the other thing to expect here at Coffee Chats with MomJonz. If you engage with me in the comments, I'm going to talk to you, even if it makes me veer off. But anywho, so friendships. This month, Mamas and Coffee is all about friendships. So as I am getting older, I realize that making friends is different, and maintaining friendships are different. So going back where I was saying about me and my husband, I met my husband in college, right? So I had friends. Making friends when I was in college was like elementary school. Oh, you want to be friends? Cool. You like this? I liked. All right. We are friends. We're cool. I've been married for 23 years. Me and my husband, we still laugh about this. We had a whole class together. I did not even realize that we were in the same class, mainly because I didn't go to class. My husband was studious. He was in class. I didn't always make it to that Monday morning. Actually, that class was on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I didn't make it to that class. I do not advise any students to do as I did. I tell my kids this too. Hey, y'all need to go to class. If you don't go to class, make sure you study. But my point being, I had friends in that class who we hung out, right? We didn't necessarily go to class. We hung out. But I had other friends in that class, and this is just an example of how friendships shift. Who they were very studious. They were in class. They were doing what they needed to do. Again, I'm making a comparison here of elementary school and college. It was very easy to make friends for me in college. After college, I was married. My husband, was Navy. I made friends, right? I made friends everywhere I went because I talked to people. And it was literally, hey, how you doing? What you doing? What you up to? I'm in my 20s. I'm chilling. My 30s, started having kids. Again, an easy time to make friends because I got the kids. We're going to the park. There's another mom. Hey, how you doing? How's your kid? I didn't want you. I didn't want you to bring your kid to my house. I was not that type of friend. I didn't host play dates at my house. But we can meet at the park, right? But I had people to talk to. I had friends. Now that I have hit that age where my children, two of my girls are in college. One is graduating college this year in May. Yes, y'all. I have a child graduating college this May. My youngest is a high school senior, and she will be leaving to head off for college. And I am now entering this. I've been in this phase for a while, but it's really starting to hit now that I am in empty nester, that empty nester role. But backing up to the comparison of being in my mid to late 40s, because that's when it really shifted, right? I didn't have the connectors anymore. I wasn't in college where, okay, I'm going to class and I'm partying, just like in elementary school. Everybody's your friend. My 30s were kind of like middle school, right? Okay, you're in middle school. Friends were still fairly easy to make. You were learning who you were. They were figuring out who they were. It was still a little tussle a little bit, but you were good. Like you kind of figured it out. That was the early 30s. That was when you're in your 30s. But there's something that shifts when you're in your 40s. It literally feels like high school. And not senior year in high school, but like that sophomore year. I don't know about y'all, but sophomore year was just a weird year for me in high school. It was just a weird year, right? Because I was old enough that I knew who I was. I had more freedom, but there was just like this tussle, right? Sophomore year, you're 15, 16 years old, and there's that tussle with your parents, right? You want that independence, but they're not quite ready for you to have that independence. You have your friends, you're hanging with your friends because you can independently hang out with your friends, right? Some of your friends may be driving, so you don't need your parents to take you everywhere, but you have to put in a little more work in friendships because friendships start to split. About that sophomore year in high school, right? Those friendships that you had in elementary school and middle school, you start going separate ways. In my 40s, as my kids got older, I noticed a shift within myself of how I made friends. It wasn't as easy, right? I had to put effort into meeting people, right? Like I had to leave my house to meet people. And when you have older kids, guess what? You ain't really got to leave your house. Even if you have kids who play sports, right? You don't have to take them to practice. You ain't sitting at the practice field with them. They take themselves or their friends pick them up. You show up to the game, cheer your child on, and go home. That's what you do. Your neighbors, reality is, especially today, you don't really know your neighbors. And for me, we move every couple of years. So I always have new neighbors. I do speak to my neighbors, but today's time, people don't really speak to one another like they used to. But my point being, I have noticed that every decade of my life, making new friends and keeping old friends takes a lot more work and energy, and not in a bad way energy. And ladies and gentlemen, because this message is for everyone, and I want you to ask yourself this question, because I'll see people say, I don't have any friends. But why don't you? Why don't you have friends? Is it because you choose not to put forth any effort to have friends? Is it that you choose not to work to maintain the relationships that you already have because you're too busy? I have heard that. I've heard it so many times. And as I was talking about the lady that, we both were here before in Northern Virginia, we both moved away and we came back. It's like, we're going to make the time for one another. What day works for you? What time works for you? Let's have lunch. We text each other from time to time. Hey, how are you doing? We send each other memes, right? We're just staying in touch with one another, but it takes work. It takes energy to have friends. And so I'm totally rambling because I have totally veered from the purpose of this video. But this month at Mamas and Coffee, during the Mamas and Coffee show, as well as Coffee Chats with MomJonz, the rest of this month, I am going to be talking about friendships. Because I see as women, and I'm going to talk specifically on women. Actually, I'm going to talk about men too. That when you hit that middle age, that 40, we get lonely. I will admit it. I sat here just the other day. My daughter was out, my husband was out, so it was just me and my dog. And I was just sitting on the couch like, what am I doing? I mean, I was content with just sitting there watching TV. But because we have been having a discussion about houses. And I was talking to one of my friends. We talk every single day. We don't live in the same state, but we talk every single day. And we were just having a discussion about houses. Like, okay, we bought this house when the kids, before kids, or we bought this house when the kids were little. All right, now that the kids are older, have we, maybe we've outgrown the house. All right, but now we're going to be empty nesters. So we have this house with all this space right now. And I asked myself, actually, when we moved back to Virginia and we're renting a house, and my eldest daughter, when she first came to visit, she's like, why did y'all get this big old house? I'm like, oh, well, because when y'all come visit, everyone has their own space. And she's like, but why? So I'm like, oh, because we want everyone to have their own space, right? Like, you have room, like you over here, I'm over here. You're not bothering me, I'm not bothering you. But me and my friend, we were talking about it like, okay, as we get older, what are we taking consideration? Even having a house with a lot of space with friends, right? Like I said, I was never one to like host little kids at my house. That was not my thing. I didn't have play dates at my house. But I would have my girlfriends come over. We would sit, watch TV. I didn't cook. I didn't cook for anybody. I'd order food or I'd go to the store and buy food. It was before Uber and DoorDash. So, I'm like, all right, I'll order pizza. Pizza will be delivered. But we would just hang out, watch TV, just chill out. But now I'm like, I have all this space, and it is literally most days me and my dog. And when you sit and you just sit by yourself and you think, you're like, wow, man, how times have changed. And I even think about my relationships with people, right? Like all the friends, and I never had a lot of friends. I talked to a lot of people. My friends are very few friends, but I talk to a lot of different people. And now, and I still feel like I'm the glue. I feel like I am the person who I'm reaching out, checking on everybody, trying to make plans, yada, 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 yada. But everyone is like, oh, I'm busy. I'm busy. I'm busy. Okay, that's cool. But then, and I'm not saying this about me, like these are my people, but I see it and I hear people talk about it. You say you're busy, but then you turn around, hey, Rhonda. But then those same people turn around and say they don't have friends, that they're lonely. And there's a difference of feeling lonely and alone, right? Those are two different things. and saying you don't have friends. And I have challenged my Facebook group, Mamas and Coffee Facebook group, to evaluate why you don't have friends. Because for people like me who is reaching out, trying to be the glue, I'm only going to reach out so many times, right? Hey, we in our late 40s now. When we were and I get it, right? In your 20s, you're doing everything, a little bit of everything all the time. You have the time, you have the energy. But I tell the people in my group, evaluate why you're so busy. Are you really busy? If you're that busy, you need to slow the heck down. It's about this 94-year-old childhood. Bessie, she lived with died and she has to move New York to live with her daughter and grandson. She friends a 19-year-old Black Jewish girl. All right, I will. I will check that out. Because at the end of the day, everyone needs a friend or two. We need people to talk to. I tell again in my group, and I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it this Wednesday, as a matter of fact, for the Mamas and Coffee show. It'll stream live at noon Eastern. Of sometimes you don't need a bestie. Sometimes you just need a hoe. Sometimes you just need that person. Hey, look, girl. Hey, look, guy. You want to go grab lunch? We just gonna go grab lunch once a week, once a month, whatever, and just chat. They ain't meant to be your bestie. They're not meant to be the person you call up if there's, an emergency. They might be. They're not the person you're going to spill your guts to, but just someone to talk to. We all need someone to talk to. Every last one of us. Because we think that we can, I'm not going to say we, people, because I see it every day, all the time on social media. Oh, I don't need anyone. I don't need anyone. No, you do. We all need someone to talk to. And I say this also from personal experience. When I was dealing with my mess post-stroke, I isolated. I didn't talk to people. I isolated myself. Now, I was going through other things, but I did begin feeling better when I started talking to people, when I started leaving the house, even hopping on a Zoom, which, by the way, if y'all didn't know, Mamas and Coffee does, right now I'm doing them monthly, but I will be starting to do them at least twice a month. Zoom coffee. They're called coffee talks, where you can come in via Zoom and talk. We'll have a topic and we'll chat, because I think it's important to just engage with other people. And I'm going to check out this movie because here's the thing too. I'm going to say this, Taurus. I find myself, and it's funny because I'm like, dang, Sybil, you're now you're someone's elder, right? I'm not old, but I'm like, I'm someone's elder. But I used to find myself talking to old people. And I would watch how happy they would be, right? Like, it just seemed like there was a rejuvenation of their life. And I find, and now, like when I go out, I am that person in the grocery store that I'm going to speak to you. You in the bread aisle, I'm in the bread aisle. I'm going to ask you why you getting that bread. Like, hey, what you making with that? Oh, okay. Oh, what you buying some chicken, but I see you have these ingredients. What you about to cook today? I want to know. I want to know, because it's just that human interaction. We as human beings, and I want to know, Mr. Love, I see your posts. I'm not going to, I see what you post sometimes, but when you're just out and about in the city, do you find that people don't speak or even acknowledge you. Like you are literally walking right past them or walking through the door. And people will just close the door and not even acknowledge your presence. Let me know. I want to know. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold on and see if you comment as I'm rambling on. And again, folks, I am a rambler. You actually get two sides of me. You will get where I'm a rambler here at Coffee Chats, and at the Mamas and Coffee Show, I am a little more focused. But that's me. That's who I am. This is who I've always been, and I'm not going to change. I'm too old to change. As I told my husband, I'm like, dude, I'm 48 years old. This is me. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. Yes. And see, I have my thoughts on that when talking about your FedEx uniform, because I see people, it's like, oh, it's a service. So people just disregard you as a human being. They're just like, okay, you're here to serve me. I on the other hand, I was outside one day. I was outside with Tiana in the yard, and FedEx truck pulled up, and it was snowing. It was a couple of weeks ago when we had the snow here in the DMV, and it was a young driver, and I was like, oh, let me get my dog. She's like, oh, no, it's okay. But I'm like, oh, how are you? Like, I'm like, hello, how are you doing? Be careful out here. I just had a little small conversation with her, because I'm like, hey, then I've been out before, and if a FedEx or UPS driver is driving by, I wave, hello, how you doing? And I do think, and I used to think it was just people in the city who treat folks as though they're invisible. Now I've gone back to my little hometown, literally walking through the door, and someone just let the door close. Do you not see me? Like, do you not see me? I'm right here. Like, really? Or speak, hello. And no one say a word. But I'm still speaking. I am still going to speak. I've shared this before. My neighbors, when we first moved in, it was just me and my youngest daughter, who we had moved back from Bahrain ahead of my husband. And we met the neighbors. We were here for 2 weeks and had an invitation for a barbecue. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come. What you want me to bring? They were like, nothing. I'm like, that's even better. Because in my mind, I was like, I wasn't bringing nothing anyway. I mean, I wasn't going to cook anything. I did go to the store and bought some dessert and took over. I'm either going to bring the bottle of wine or two, or I'm going to go buy something store-bought. I'm not cooking nothing to bring to your house. Which that makes me ask this question. See, I got a lot of topics going on in my mind right now about when you're invited, like when someone invites you to their home. Because for me, if I have something at my house, which is extremely rare, don't bring nothing, just yourself. I want you to come relax. Relax. Just chillax. You ain't got to do nothing. Come, sit on the couch, enjoy. We're going to talk. Yes. Yes. That point right there. It makes you feel good when people see you. Yes. And this is something that I think back to my younger years. And I try to explain this to my kids now, right? Because it's like, oh, because people, our elders, oh, you don't always have to be seen. Why do you feel like you always have to be seen? No, it's not that. Because what they were meaning was not how it was like how we, or at least for me, how I processed it, right? But I'm like, no, I want people to see me. And Mr. Love, I'll admit to this. I was really struggling post stroke with coming back doing lives because somewhere along the little shakeup, I had convinced myself that by doing lives and coming here online and talking and sharing, that I was just wanting to be seen. And I was doing too much. But after a few years, I'm like, okay, and what? Who cares that I want to be seen? Who cares that I want people to hear what I have to say? And yes, it makes you feel good to be seen, just like the other person who we acknowledge, who we smile at, who we speak to. It makes them feel good. As someone who's always the person speaking and saying hello and smiling at folks, from being that person to being the person who was able to pour into others that way, to the person who needed to be poured into that way, yes, it's important. And it's like, you know what? You really don't know how you just brighten my day. Even if it was for 15 minutes. You speaking, you smiling, you acknowledging me, you seeing me made my day. Yep. Even when they don't give it back, they still do it. Yep. Everyone. Even the people who say it doesn't matter. I don't care. Doesn't matter. They care. Everyone wants to be seen. Everyone. And not in the way, and I'm not talking about in the way of showing up on social media, being, but everyone going about their day. And I'm with you, right? If I see someone, hello, I walk out of my house to check the mail. If my neighbors are outside, I say hello. There's a couple I see every morning. They're an older couple. And I'm walking my dog. So we went when we had the snow, we didn't see each other when it's really, really cold. We didn't see each other for a time period because I wasn't walking my dog. We were just going outside and coming back in. But every morning, oh, hello, good morning. We speak. One day we actually stopped and had a little chit chat, had a little conversation, moved on our merry little way. Now, like I can feel it, right? It's just that excitement that we both, like all three of us have when we see each other, like, oh, hello. Because again, when I'm out walking, I see people, I see my neighbors, some of them speak, some of them don't. I'm like, you see me, like, I live here, like, hello. And that's cool. But this couple, every morning, hello. And then we have a little joke, like, okay, yeah, we're back on our schedule. We mosey on. When I go anywhere, any building I walk in, hello. It's just that kind gesture. And it does matter. Yes. And for your friends, the people who are in your circle, it matters that you reach out to them. No, you may not have time to have a full phone conversation with them. Nobody's asking you to sit down every day and talk on the phone for hours. But you know what? That good morning text, that have a good night text, that how are you today text, it may not be every day, but every blue moon, send it. It matters a lot. I have a friend of mine, every morning. I will give it to her. She's consistent. I have another friend. We might miss a couple of days here and there depending on what's going on, but it's, hey, how you doing? Good morning. There's another lady. She'll send me a text. So We have texts going back and forth every morning. I send her pictures of Tiana. Hey, we have a good laugh. We don't talk to each other until the next day, but it matters. And it matters to me. It makes me happy. It puts a little smile on my face. So, yeah, so all that was a long ramble. The purpose of this live is really to tell you exactly what Mamas and Coffee Chats with MomJonz is about, and this is what it's about. Me rambling on about whatever topic comes to my mind. Sometimes those topics are planned in advance. Sometimes it's literally what popped in my mind that morning or before I hit live. I tell people my best topics come from when I'm having a meeting in the morning. I have a meeting every morning. And it's not with other human beings. It's a solo meeting every morning. I know that's TMI, but that's what you get here with me. All right. You guys have a wonderful, blessed day. Remember to know you, be you, love you. And hey, you can buy this mug. Actually, if you go to mamasandcoffee.com, you can buy this mug. This is a Mamas and Coffee mug. This is Mamas and Coffee slogan. This is a MomJonz slogan. Know you, be you, love you. Buy the mug, or you know what? You can buy me a coffee. Just saying. Just saying. Let me put right here. Here's the QR code. Just scan that. Go buy me a coffee. And you can also subscribe to my newsletter. I send some wonderful, amazing newsletters, and they're always uplifting. So if you have not subscribed to the newsletter, make sure you do that. And that's on the website as well, mamasandcoffee.com. Actually, hold on. Just because, I'm random as all get out, I will drop the link here for you. So you can just go directly to the link. I don't have it up because it was one of those things that popped up in my mind. And hey, y'all, here's the other thing I want to let you know. If you want to be a guest, because you can be a guest and come chat with me live. That information will also be on the website soon, because I do want to bring, and you don't have to be a mama. You do not have to be a woman. I'm really excited, y'all. So my husband joined me 2019 as a guest, but I do have 2 men already lined up to join me here. And I'm excited. I'm excited to have a conversation with both of them. They will be 2 separate interviews, but it's going to be a really great interview. I can't tell you where the conversation is going to go, but it's going to be good. It's going to be insightful, and it's going to be uplifting. So I am looking for the sign-up sheet. Where is it at? Oh, here we go. Y'all, getting my life together. Okay, right here, if you would like to receive my newsletter, I do send out a newsletter twice a week. Again, Tuesday and Friday. The Tuesday newsletter, the Friday newsletter is the recap of the live, in case you missed the live on Mondays. But the Tuesday newsletter also includes information about stroke talks, gives you some stroke talks information, some stroke awareness information. But if you would like to just sign up for the stroke talks newsletter, you can do that. And that newsletter goes out on Saturday. So here's the Stroke Talks newsletter. It's all information about stroke. The Stroke Talks newsletter is exclusively stroke information. All right, I'm out. Thank you for engaging with me, Mr. Love. And I think you should come on. Just saying. All right, you guys have a wonderful, blessed day. Remember to know you, be you, and love you. Bye.